Okay, so we're going to cover the purposes of art. So, why do people create visual art? What is it? What is it used for? Why is it valued? So, art plays a different role in different situations. There are five main categories of why humans will make art: ceremonial, artistic expression, narrative, functional, and persuasive. Ceremonial art is made to celebrate or commemorate something important in a culture, ritual, or in worship, or in a personal life. So, a lot of times you'll see these at things that regard funerals, weddings, any kind of ceremonial, like the coming of age ceremonials that are really common in a lot of cultures, will have some sort of commemorative artwork. So, if you look at the Last Supper, it was a very special moment in the artist belief system. So they commemorated it with a painting. If you think of money, a lot of times that's sort of a ceremonial art piece for us because it will have important things from our culture or our lifetimes printed on it. Narrative art is art that will tell a story or make a point. A lot of times, communities will commission narrative artworks or murals for buildings depicting stories from the history of that area. So, example would be if you went to Paducah and got to see the flood wall, it has the history of Paducah and a long narrative muraled along the flood wall. This example has a wedding portrait. Right here is a couple that is to be married. It's a Dutch painting, so it's from the 1700s, and it's a little different than what we would think of as a wedding portrait. First of all, a lot of times I get questions. This woman is not expecting a child. This is just the way her dress is made. But you see that she's taking his hand. He is making an oath symbol where he has the palm up. But there's other things in this that kind of link it back to being a wedding portrait. Back here on the table, which is sort of hard to see in this photo, there's some fruit and it's oranges, which is a good luck symbol or a fertility symbol in a lot of cultures, meaning that they hope this couple will have lots of babies. The dog has a semblance. The mirror in the background is a symbol for reflecting on their past. There's a lot of things that come back to mean something. In a lot of cultures, green is a symbol for renewal. So they're renewing their love for each other through taking their vows. The most popular reason that people will make art, especially at the high school art class level, will be for artistic expression. So, art that is created for expression will focus on the self expression, an artist's personal life, their internal emotions, feelings, experiences, or ideas. Sometimes this is the sort of art that you'll see that will be abstract or non objective. For an example, over here, this is an abstract by Jasper Johns of numbers. You can see the tracing of numbers if you look closely. But this is the one that we're going to see the most, and we'll talk about a little bit more later. Functional art is just art that comes from everyday life, that is an object that we use constantly being turned into something that is very beautiful or aesthetically pleasing. So you'll see other things: jewelry, furniture, any sort of pottery or ceramics, quilts and baskets. And then the last one I want to talk about is persuasive art. This is just the type of art that is used in advertising. So it will promote ideas, philosophies, or products. So recruitment posters from military. This year being an election year, you're going to see persuasive art a lot in campaign advertising. Now, so why do we care? Well, the why is you need to know why you're making something. And here it's going to be for a grade, but will also fall under some of the other categories. Most of the time in art class, it will be artistic expression, but sometimes we'll have functional pieces, or maybe we'll do a few advertisements as well. So, what is the art going to be about? We already talked about the why. This is the what. Think of all the types of subjects that you have seen in paintings, photographs, and sculptures. You've probably seen an example of all four of these things. I like to break them into places, people, things, and ideas. So, a lot of times you can have landscapes, meaning that it's of a place or a scene from outside. And then portraits are pictures of people. And then still lifes involve things that do not have a pulse. And then ideas are where we get our abstracts and non-objective art. So a landscape is a work that is based on the land and what is on it. So over here in this painting, we have a landscape. It is a park. Now there are a ton of people in this. It's a very busy park, but the main focus that the artist was going for is that this is a park where people will come to congregate and sort of gather together to have that feeling of being outside. So it is not specifically about any of these individuals, but more so the outside space that they are in. Now, a portrait is a work of art that will show a person or a group of people. So the most famous portrait is always the Mona Lisa. So this is on so many different things in the world. There's so many questions, but a portrait kind of just documents a person, what they were like, what interests they had. Um, for example, with Mona, a lot of times there's questions about, is she smiling? Is she scowling? Like, what is her face doing? Why was she so famous that she was painted? So that's portraits. Now, moving into still lifes, a still life is an artwork that is based on inanimate objects. So, in this still life over here, we have Cezanne had painted apples and oranges. There's also some bread, and then a drink in the bottle. Okay, moving into abstract. Now, abstract painting distorts or simplifies reality, but you can still tell what it is. So, for example, Picasso's Three Musicians, you can still identify three separate beings or people characters. There's even a dog in the background, but a it's not going to be mistaken with a photograph at all because it is not realistic. It is very abstracted. Things are broken apart, shapes are used instead of what it would really look like, and it's highly patterned and stylized. Now, the last one is non objective. Non objective art, you're not going to see a recognizable shape. It will be more splatters, blobs, just colors. So it doesn't have a lot to do with um, making it look like something else. Instead, you will explore the media. So Jackson Pollock is very famous for his splatter paintings, which was seeing how paint, when dumped on top of each other, would look. All right, so this is why and what art is about, the purposes of art.